build, which is, I forget the power level, but it's my normal build that I go with around every day on my Titan. It is my standard sort of like when I get on, this is what I equip. Um, I have various builds for different things, but we're going to be going over this today. So to start off, the reason why it's called a legendary Titan is there's three Titans at play, right? There's Saint 14, obviously the helmet. There is Kabir, the Titan Mark. There's another Titan that we're not talking about. It's not part of the Destiny universe, but it's part of the Halo. The armor reminded me very much of the Spartan 2s. The arms reminded me a lot of the Halo 4 armor set. A Halo 4, a lot of people didn't like. A lot of people, it was kind of like a weird one. Um, it so either way, the three factions that are in this is Saint 14, Kabir, and of course the Spartan 2 or Master Chief. Master Chief is a legendary. He would be classified as a Titan, right? He's just a legendary Spartan. Um, he's done a lot of crazy things. He's super strong. Um, same thing with Saint 14. He's super strong. Same thing with Kabir. Kabir literally, um, because in the lore of Kabir is he literally turned himself into a shield. He drank the Vex milk. Using his light, he pierced into the Vault of Glass, and he turned himself into a shield so that the next Guardians who came could conquer the Vault of Glass. And that's the only reason why we're able to beat it, is because of the sacrifice that Kabir did. He's an absolutely legendary Titan. Saint 14, again, another legendary Titan who literally cracked the skull of a Kell after being strangled to death in the Battle of Six Fronts. He's also single-handedly went into the Infinite Forest, and upon his death, the Vex built a monument to him, an altar for him, because of how much Vex that he slayed. Like, he slayed thousands upon thousands. He was stuck there forever. It was an incredible feat of what he did, and then we brought him back, and when we saved his life. Master Chief, he literally single-handedly put the fear of God inside the Covenant. They called them Demon, and any other race, especially within Halo 5. He got major respect from another warrior race. I can't remember the warrior race's name. It's a I can't remember. Either way, I'm having a blonde moment. Let's go over the build. So, first off, we're going to start with the weapons, right? Hung Jury, I've got to go with Hung Jury. It was my favorite scout rifle in D1. Got to go with that. 1-2 punch. We're thinking of Titan. Thinking punching, right? 1-2 punch, and nothing more than my found verdict time lost. 1-2 punch shotgun with 1-2 punch auto-loading holster, accurized rounds, full choke, range masterwork. Full choke really does help inside PvE, really narrows the spread. We have tractor cannon. These two go together, right? But over here, it is a build hugely around melee and resilience. Obviously, the resilience changes. You want that resilience. Sorry about that. We have overcharge wallmaker. That's going to be for developing the arc wells that are hugely important, again, to get our melee back. Yeah, Font of Might for the Void. Because, hey, when you kill something, there you go. You do a little bit extra damage when you boop them with tractor cannon. 25% on top of it already debuffing the target. Then on top of that, we have the seasonal mod. Armor of the Dying Star, which gives you Arc and Void damage resistance, or Solar and Void. And we have an Arc Resist mod for Radiant Light. So we have the 3 resists, and that gives us the bump in 20, which allows us to hit the 100 strength. And over here, we have Reaping Lawmaker. Every time you pop a barricade, hence why we have this, you get a well, which plays into Phantom Might. Now, Well of Ions, it is a 30% damage buff for your next melee, right? 30%. Huge. So you're debuffing the target and you're buffing your melee. Debuffs and buffs stack, but buff and a buff don't. That's why there's 3 buffs and debuffs going on. There's Phantom Might that's going on. There's the buff to your melee, your character, and there's the debuff to the target with Tractor Cannon. Debuff and the buffs will stack because Phantom Might is weapon damage, and the melee damage is Well of Ions. So there you go. And we really don't need this. So we're gonna move this to hands-on. Again, to get our bubble back as quite as possible. And you may be wondering why do you only have 2 intellect? Intellect, when they changed intellect, is based on how much damage you're doing to your target, damage you take, damage you deal out. So it's got a very double-edged sword kind of motif going on. And it pretty much what it does is that is what charges your super. You've got a flat cooldown that if you waited, you'd get it in 8 minutes. But if you were to kill things, you get it back a whole lot faster. And if you have a steady stream of babs, you can get your super in 2 to 3 minutes. It's very easy super. The other things that we got going on, we got Focusing Strike, which you class ability and when you damage a melee attack. Everything's around your melee and resilience. It kind of synergizes. To go over our aspects and fragments, we're running Offensive Bulwark, obviously Bubble. We want Bastion for the Overshield, which again buffs melee damage. Then we got the Vortex Grenade. We got the Shield Bash. We got High Lift, Strafe Lift. It doesn't matter which way. Echo of Obscurity turns us invisible, right? That's really important. Melee Final Blows start health regenerations, right? That's really important. In the center around the melee. And then defeating a target with a grants volatile rounds. So to your void weapons, right? So the only void weapon I have is Tractor Cannon, right? It kind of creates a little explosion, right? Not really a big deal. The most important is it bumps up the strength. Now, let's say I had a void scout or a void submachine gun, right? Those would play differently. I don't have a kinetic 1-2 punch shotgun, but the ideal is to have a kinetic 1-2 punch shotgun and then have the access to the void scout or submachine gun, right? Obviously, that is the perfect build, but unfortunately we gotta do what we have, right? So it's most important is it buffs up the strength, but it does have some added benefits if we kind of get better weapons. So that's pretty much it. There is really no gameplay for this outside of, I would say, go ahead and take it in yourself, see what you like, see what you don't like about it. Give me a like and subscribe for this channel. We're going to be starting streaming more Destiny content, and we have a huge surprise coming from one of my very close friends, who's done something very special for me that I will be revealing over the next few weeks when the surprise gets here. It's actually really touching, and I'm going to cry. So that's it. That's all, folks, and you have a wonderful day. God bless.